1,000 degrees.
Sure.
You can see the colour changing because it's oxidising at the moment, because I'm letting the air to it. Notice how blue it is, mainly blue in colour. Starve it of oxygen now, starve it of oxygen, and that should change the colour. And this one here, a perfect, smooth, glossy blue, which is unusual for Raku, and also that colour's going to change to more of a turquoise or indigo now. See, this one is slightly less glossy than the previous one, so it's slightly under temperature. Moving it to another part of the kiln. And we're going to put these ones in. And they can stand the temperature, they can stand this thermal shock because the clay is specially designed to do that. But my hands can't, so these tongs are designed for that. Normally when you fire pots, it's a very slow process. It takes about 18 to 36 hours. This takes about 30 minutes. It is a very special type of clay. It's very rich in silica and other refractory elements that allow it to stand this shock. Normally if you took pots out at this temperature, they would shatter. This kiln is at 1,000 degrees. And that one's been fired to 1,000 degrees, but that's just had the first firing, which is biscuit firing. So it's just like a brick. And when you put the glaze on, which is basically liquid glass, and then you put it in there, and that then causes a chemical process, a physical process that turns the liquid, which changes to a powder, a dry coating, into a glass. And you've got to get it exactly the right temperature. If you don't, you can see the difference between these two. That one's almost fully mature, and you can tell by the glossiness, and that one's under fired. But probably only by about 3 degrees, you see. So I could, if I want, that's better on the outside, I could put it back into the kiln, as you can with this type of firing, and make that a little bit hotter, if I wanted to. But you couldn't do that with other types of firing. That's what makes this possible. See those slightly sort of coppery, burgundy colours in there? In a normal firing, they would just be pure blue, like that. And that is the same as that, but it's changed because of the bark. And it depends on what's in the bark that has been scraped off the wood before. Interesting or not? And those are the same. That's a bit of this glaze mixed on with a white base.
Yeah.
And you can see the bits of copper, you can catch them in the light.
Yeah.
And that's just what you call a basic crackle glaze. The reason this type of pottery is invented, the Japanese invented it in the 16th century because they would literally be firing their big pots, big kilns and big pots, and they would need a cup of tea. Japanese love tea, so they would make little simple bowls like this, make their tea, drink their tea, and throw them away. And that's how this pottery came about.
1 year.
Sorry?
Before it only 1 year.
They would do that because they didn't realise how precious they were, how valuable they were. When Westerners began to discover it and put a value on them, then it all changed. Then Raku Firing was made for different reasons.
So how long does the process take over there?
That's all up to me. I could leave them in there all night, but for the sake of this demonstration, I've probably been there for 15 minutes. They're just suffocating in there at the moment. The windows. And it does vary. You know, the longer you leave them, the more intense the reduction. But as people are coming by and wanting to see it, you know, you tend to bring them out a bit sooner. But you can have the reduction as intense and as long as you wish. You know, I can leave them in for hours if I wanted to, but it would take away from the kind of immediacy of the whole thing.
Yes.
The whole idea of this is it's extremely rapid and it's very interactive there. Even people who don't do pottery out and use pottery can then come along and glaze a pot, put it in the kiln, away they go. Do you want to glaze a pot? You might as well do the one that you've been getting to know. So, just give you something to work with today. Don't touch it just yet. That's the blue over there, and that's the white. This one hasn't been used very much today, so yours is purple. Yours